Even for those of us who hate getting up in the morning, it's hard not to crack a smile when you're greeted by this.
Soon after I had designed it, I got a postcard from a French poet. And he started out by saying, "Damn you. I wake up every morning and I am not a morning person. I turn your kettle on and your kettle starts to scream at me and it makes me smile. Damn you." I love that.
The alessi bird kettle is one of the most sought-after tea kettles in the world and can take your ordinary kitchen into a whole different league.
This kettle is a very typical example of a possible new American design language. It was completely different from what the European tradition until that period was presenting.
A fusion of Art Deco, pop art, and the language of cartoons, the alessi bird kettle paved the way for the playful design style of the 1990s. It was also a cross-cultural creation. The high-end Italian manufacturer, Alessi, wanted something with an American feel.
Alessi wanted a true American tea kettle. There were kettles that were doing their jobs, but that's all they did. They were sort of dead from the burner up. You know, there just was no life to these kettles.
This kettle has had a life of its own. Since it was introduced in 1985, it's become the best-selling item ever in the Alessi catalog. The company has been making household products since 1921, here in the town of Omegna, nestled in the northern Italian Alps.
It was founded by my grandfather Giovanni. He was manufacturing more or less the same stuff, the same kind of product we do today, from trays to bowls, cups, wine coolers, tea pots, coffee pots, tea and coffee services.
At first, Giovanni Alessi designed everything himself. Then in the 1930s and 40s, his son Carlo took over. He soon stopped designing to focus on management.
And he started calling outside architects and designers to come and to have a collaboration with us.
Since then, all of Alessi's products have been the result of partnerships with some of the best designers around the world. In fact, in the early 1980s, Alessi put on a competition to find the best designed coffee and tea service. So they invited architects to create a small landscape of tea kettles and coffee pots. Architects like Michael Graves, famous for skyscrapers and exotic hotels.
He said, "All right, you dozen architects, not designers per se, but architects, design a tea service for me." It was going to be sterling silver, therefore it was going to be pricey, and there was only going to be one.
That one turned out to be Michael Graves' entry, and that's how he and Alessi met.
But then he came to me and said, "Now the real business starts. I want you to design a tea kettle for me."
So Graves set out to design the ultimate American kettle. His inspiration for the bird?
Being from the Midwest, I thought roosters, chickens, you know, cock-a-doodle-doo. I just thought morning, coffee, wake up. The bird had a life of its own. It was one I enjoyed drawing, and I liked the wings spread out. And I wanted the wings so that you could put your 2 fingers here and pull it off the kettle without burning yourself.
The prototype and all the blueprints were brought to Italy for Alberto Alessi to review.
When I showed him the kettle, he looked at it and he smiled.
The bottle was nice. The bottle was nice.
Smiles don't come easy to Alberto. I don't think he's a pretty serious fellow because he's got a lot riding on every decision.
One of the characteristics of Michael Graves is to be able to communicate with a very average customer.
25 years later, they still make 50,000 bird kettles a year in the same factory where it all began.
It's a marvelous place to go and look at how things are made. When you see a table of what looks to be 1,000 kettles, it does make you smile. I mean, you just say, there aren't that many tea drinkers or coffee addicts in the world, but there are.
The production process starts with stainless steel discs.
Stainless steel is most hygienic, solid material for a kettle. and the kettle is very, very solid. So also if you forget the kettle on the fire for maybe a quarter of an hour without water, you can't destroy the kettle.
It takes no less than 7 pressings to come up with the desired cone shape. At their factory in the Italian Alps, the first step in making the kettle is to press the body out of steel discs. The spout is made of smaller discs. With each pressing, the shape is defined a little further.
We use another particular stainless steel with magnetic characteristics. And this is for the use on the induction cooking system.
The bottom is pressed to the body, then the pieces are arc welded permanently on this turntable. In another part of the factory, they assemble the handle.
The handle is made with 2 small pieces of wire. We insert 2 plastic parts on the 2 wires.
These plastic beads will frame the blue handle grip, which is injection molded off-site. Right down to the color scheme, designer Michael Graves thought of everything.
There's different symbolism going on with the colors of the kettle. The red denotes hot on the kettle, so that's the bird, is where the steam is going to be coming out. The handle is blue, cool to the touch, and the knob was to be more of the neutral piece.
Now the assembled bodies go through a polish and a wash. The handles are then spot welded in place.
We weld the handle with 4 dots here and 4 dots here. The 4 dots make a very strong junction and moreover reduce the quantity of heating energy that pass from the kettle and the handle, so the handle remains at a very low temperature.
Then they assemble the lids. First, they add a protective plastic cover so you don't burn yourself when you hold the knob. Then the knobs go on and they're tightened. There's one final quality check before they get packed and shipped.
We make a total quality control, piece by piece, and our people is responsible for the quality. Inside the box you find a ticket with a number. This number is, for us, the name of the people that checked the quality of the piece. And they are responsible for the quality of the kettle we sell to you.
This is the kettle that got us out of the hardware store and into the art gallery to buy appliances.
The kettle is our bestseller at the moment, yes. And it has been the bestseller for many, many years.
I thought it had a chance to be a hit. We didn't know, you never know. But I felt very good about it. And I think Alessi, even more important, felt good about it. He felt I had made an American kettle. Who knew?